Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for taking time out to watch the video. I really appreciate it. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss here today. So before we dive into them, do me a favor, be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and show it your support. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. The first topic we're discussing has to do with PlayStation VR2. More specifically, we have a developer that is talking about the controllers that are coming with this headset and how they believe that they are going to be the best of the generation, and they also talk about foveated rendering. So this is reading from WCCF Tech, where it says, speaking to the official Play magazine, we have PolyArc principal engineer Brendan Walker talking excitedly about the PlayStation VR2 controllers, the very first thing unveiled by Sony about the new virtual reality hardware. And he says, I'm so pumped about the new PSVR2 controllers because we finally have a set of high quality VR controllers. I think that they have the potential to be the best in this current generation for a couple of reasons. We've had to design a game that works single-handedly with the DualShock 4 or dual-handedly with the PlayStation Move. So now we have two proper hands. And what can you do with that? Their design for the tracking ring was super interesting. You'll notice that it's more toward the back of the hand, and one cool implication of that is that it means it's easier if you need to have two-handed interactions that are closer to each other. You can do that because of tracking rings. They're not going to bump into each other, so that's pretty cool. You can get higher precision interactions. Walker, who worked on Moss and most recently released Moss Book 2, also praised Sony's decision to add foveated rendering and eye tracking to PSVR2, as it will greatly benefit the system's performance. It turns out there's a narrow window in the human eye. The field of view is where you're focusing your attention, and you can actually put a lot of most of the detail there when you have lower resolution outside that. So you're actually wasting a lot of rendering horsepower without eye tracking and putting detail where there actually doesn't need to be as much. It's funny because it's one of those things that engineers are excited about. We can improve performance and increase fidelity, but when it's working right, you won't notice because everything that's outside of your peripheral vision, you won't realize it's lower resolution. It was smart of Sony to lean into this on a console because you have this hardware that hopefully is going to be around for quite a while, and in order to eke out as much lifetime out of it, you need to be able to optimize where you can, and this is another axis of optimization. Indeed, during the GDC 2022 panel building next-gen games for PlayStation VR2 with Unity senior XR graphics developer stated that combined use of foveated rendering and eye tracking can deliver up to 3.6 frame time with improvements while keeping equivalent graphics quality. So this is a lot of really good information, I think, about PlayStation VR2. It's not necessarily information, but we're hearing from a developer firsthand why they are excited about this new VR headset, and they seem very excited about the controllers, and they do think that Sony made some very smart moves, which will allow them to be able to, as they say here, optimize much more efficiently for the platform itself, for the headset itself, and ultimately this means we will get better looking games and better performing games, and I think that pretty much everybody can be on board with that. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know what a developer is saying about PlayStation VR2. Moving on to the next topic, we're talking about an interesting report that I came across on VGC, where they say multiple PlayStation users have reported that some digital games are no longer booting on classic consoles such as PS3 and PS Vita. As summarized by Kotaku, multiple users have reported that their PlayStation 1 classic version of Chrono Cross now displays a decades-old expiration date and will not boot after being downloaded. The issue coincides with the release of the new Chrono Cross remaster for modern consoles. However, there is evidence that the problem extends to other older games too. On social media, users have reported similar decades-old expiration dates, preventing them from playing games such as Final Fantasy VII, Rune Factory, Oceans, and Unit 13. One Reddit user even claims their entire PlayStation Vita library has been made inaccessible. Sony has yet to comment on these reports. Kotaku suggests that the issue could be related to the Unix epoch, which is when engineers set arbitrary dates designated as the beginning of an operating system's lifespan. It's speculated that some bug may be defaulting PlayStation game license expiration dates to the Unix epoch. The report yet again highlights the issue of game preservation in the digital world. And yeah, I wanted to let you guys know about this because I don't know how many of you are running into this issue, but it does seem to be something that is causing a problem for some PlayStation fans, those who are using the PS3 or the PS Vita. And it is something that I have to assume at some point Sony will fix and correct. But again, it just goes to show why digital games, they can be pretty sketchy at times, right? When it comes to situations like this, where you have a digital version of a game and maybe you just decide you want to go back and play it and it's on older hardware, and you just run into something like this where it's like, well, you can't play it. You can't play this digital version of your game for whatever reason, and you're kind of at the mercy of Sony and whatever they want to do. And so again, hopefully they will get it kind of sorted out here. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to let you guys know about that. Next up, we're talking about Housemarque, talking about Returnal and how they hope that it will find a bigger audience once it launches into PlayStation Plus. So this is reading from PlayStation Universe, where it says the studio behind critically acclaimed PS5 title Returnal has revealed during a chat with Eurogamer that it's hopeful the game will find a larger audience via PlayStation Plus. Chatting at the BAFTAs, the managing director at Housemarque said it was brilliant that Returnal will be included in Sony's newly revamped PS Plus service. He says, as you know, it's been a while since the release, and we do know that people who get into subscriptions, they play a lot. Sony does make some wise decisions, like the funding of this game. They started to fund this game 5 years ago. They took a leap of faith. And so I wanted to share this with you because it seems that Returnal, is going to be one of the bigger games that's going to launch alongside the revamped PS Plus. And it makes sense that Housemarque would be hopeful that more people would jump into it and that it would maybe find a new audience. And, this is maybe where we are beginning to see a good balance between having, AAA full-priced video games, and then maybe over time eventually seeing those games put into a service like PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium, and them hopefully finding a new audience there. I think that there can be a good balance here, and I do hope that more people end up playing Returnal because it's a great game. And he's sure to point out that Sony, they made a wise investment here. They took a leap of faith with this game and with Housemarque, and I think everybody involved is feeling good about it at this point because it worked out, I think, as well as it possibly could have. And it's just another one of these situations that makes me realize, Housemarque being a first-party PlayStation studio, I think it was a great pickup by Sony, and I'm sure that Housemarque is feeling very proud about what they've achieved. But we're moving on to the next topic, which talks about a former Sony executive talking on the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal and how to them Call of Duty exclusivity doesn't make financial sense. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, former PlayStation US chief Jack Trentton doesn't think Call of Duty exclusivity makes financial sense for Microsoft. In a lengthy interview with IGN, he was of the view that Microsoft would lose out if it made Activision Blizzard games exclusive to its ecosystem, and doesn't believe that's the path the company will take. Trentton is currently leading a special purpose acquisition company called PowerUp and is eyeing an acquisition of a major game company himself. I don't think you're going to see titles become platform exclusive. I don't think it would make financial sense for them to take a Call of Duty and make it exclusive to Xbox platforms, Trentton said, and they certainly haven't behaved that way in the past, and I think that's true of all other mergers and acquisitions that you see. I think you'll continue to see multi-platform development. Trentton is an advocate of mergers and acquisitions, so his opinion might be a little biased. However, he's of the view that competition for game companies doesn't come from other companies because the industry is actually vying for time. He also believes that gaming is a threat to other forms of entertainment. There's still only 24 hours in a day. You've got to sleep. Trentton added, if you spend more time gaming, you spend less time watching TV. And so I thought that this would be interesting to cover because we don't really hear from Jack Trentton much anymore. And obviously when he's coming out here doing his own thing and being interviewed by IGN, it makes sense that they're going to ask a couple of questions like this. I believe he also talked about the PlayStation Vita during this interview and said that he kind of wished Sony didn't really abandon it the way that they did. It makes you wonder, how different things would be if Jack Trentton never left Sony. But nonetheless, I think what he's saying here makes sense. I think some people do forget that Microsoft is also a business, Xbox is a business, and they want to make money, and financially speaking, it really wouldn't make much sense at all for them to make something like Call of Duty exclusive. The amount of money that they would be losing out on from sales on the PlayStation platform and other places as well. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it seems pretty clear. I think Microsoft has also made it clear Call of Duty isn't going to be exclusive, but again, I thought it would just kind of be worth going over Jack Trentton's opinion here because we don't really get to hear from him too often. So there you go. The final topic I have for you is something that I want to cover relatively quickly here, but I want to be sure to let you guys know about this because I'm going to be interested to see what game you think David Jaffe may be talking about here. So over on Twitter, David Jaffe comes out and he says, "I will never spoil developer reveals. It sucks and it's mean, but it's a battle to not say nothing at all. So just allow me to say, I just heard a fantastic rumor, 99% sure of it, about a remake of a game, and I want to tell everyone, but I won't." And it's worth noting that he did confirm that he is not dropping subtle hints within this tweet itself by capitalizing words like battle and, basically saying that you can't figure out what game he's talking about based off of what he's saying in this tweet. And that's important, I think, to recognize because he did kind of give us subtle hints previously about Wolverine before it was revealed, where he was dropping very subtle hints in his tweet, where if you put two and two together, you could maybe come to the conclusion, is he talking about a Wolverine game? And so he also answers somebody here who says, did you ever work on the game? So the game that he's talking about being remade, he's being asked, is this a game that you happen to work on? And he says, I wish. I've been fortunate, but not F you, I'm going to go buy a Ferrari fortunate. And this is probably the biggest hint he's giving us about whatever this game is. I do believe that somebody like David Jaffe certainly has contacts at Sony. I think he's actually made that clear. He's the creator of Twisted Metal and God of War. There's no doubt he has some people he talks to. So I would assume that this game he's referring to is a Sony game, a Sony remake, or will at the very least release on PS5. And I think that what he's saying here maybe gives us a hint that whatever this game is, it's going to be huge. Huge as in it's going to sell millions upon millions of copies and it's going to make a lot of money. And so that is all he is giving us. He really wants to tell us, but he doesn't want to ruin it for his developer friends, which I can respect that. And I would not anticipate that he's going to reveal what it is, but there you go. That's what he's telling us. At this point, I'm going to leave it to you guys to kind of speculate on which game could he be talking about here. Whatever game he's talking about, it's going to sell not just good, it's going to sell amazingly well, to the point where developers will be able to go out and buy Ferraris apparently. So you let me know what game you think it is. That's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.